Yo, yo, yo. Hey, yo, what's good to all my heroes and villains out there? It's your boy LC. Guys, welcome to another episode of Heroes and Villains Collectibles. And yo, check it out, man. Just like you guys seen in the thumbnail, we're going to go ahead and check out. Supposedly, we got a full um, plot leak to the Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I'm excited about. You know what I mean? Cannot wait for that one. I'm sure a bunch of you guys can't either. You know what I mean? That trailer already hit like 1 billion plus views. You know what I mean? But yo, we're gonna go ahead and check out the Cosmic Wonder. He's got the 411 on the plot leak. Supposedly it's the full plot leak. So let's go ahead and check that out. Check it out. Before we do, if it's the first time checking out your boy, make sure you guys go ahead, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and let you know when I got all types of videos coming your way. Alright? So, let's not waste no more time. Let's get right into it. Booyah. Alright, guys. Here we go.
Spider-Man Brand New Day plot leak. I must say, a lot of people online who have read this say that it might be the best leak for the Spider-Man Brand New Day film that they have heard so far. You'll have to let me know your thoughts after you hear it, but I must issue a spoiler warning in case this is 100% accurate because it does contain quite a bit of spoilers. So if this is legit, we have no way of knowing if it is or not, so take it with a grain of salt. But if it is, there's some spoilers coming, so you've been warned. Here we go. It does explain a lot of things that I've been curious about. I will say that, and I do think this might set up the Venom symbiote to get Peter at the end of the film, slash in Avengers Secret Wars. But here we go. The main villain is the Jackal. Alex Perez actually recently said last week that the Jackal is going to be a villain in this film. The Jackal, or Miles Warren is my name in case you didn't know, has created a genetic virus that makes the afflicted susceptible to his mind control slash possession. He can jump between the bodies of anyone infected. That could be what we saw in the trailer, which we thought was people being controlled by psychic abilities by Jean Grey, basically. But wait, Sadie Sink's character is coming up. This is a twist, but kind of not how you think. So he can jump between the bodies of anyone affected. His ultimate goal is to bond fully with a powerful host body since his body is dying. He wants to save himself, but also become much more powerful. Jackal strikes a deal with Tombstone to help him gain control of the Hand. Here's where it gets pretty interesting and really cool, in my own opinion. The Hand are searching for a new leader, and Jackal uses his possession abilities to make them think the beast from their ancient myths has returned and is seeking a proper body to lead with them. Just gotta say, love that right away. And after watching episode 1 of Daredevil Born Again, I definitely think that there's going to be some big connections to Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think Daredevil's going to appear in the show, or I'm sorry, in the movie. We'll have to wait and see. It's not confirmed, obviously, but they're giving us hints, and I think the stories overlap in a big way. So Jackal strikes a deal with Tombstone, and the Hand thinks that he could be the Beast. Jean Grey's powers have only recently manifested, so this leak is still saying that Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. She's not the one who was mind controlling those people in the trailer, but she still has powers that have recently manifested. So she's not going to be, a Jean Grey who is super in control of her powers, who is super powerful herself, but kind of new to it all. So Jean Grey's powers have only recently manifested, and in a world without Xavier, Professor Charles Xavier, she has been on the run and living rough. That's an interesting line. In a world without Xavier, it sounds like just in the 616 universe where we are right now, Professor Xavier doesn't exist, but she is from this universe. It could also mean, though, that she could be from a different universe. We're in the multiverse saga. Who knows? But I'm going to go with she's actually from this universe, and then they're putting her in Secret Wars, so they have her on Battleworld, which will, I believe, be the new universe moving forward. That way she's the new Jean Grey for the new X-Men. Then she meets Professor Xavier. I know that's not how the comics does it. I know. But the movies, I don't want to say rarely, but only sometimes adapt page for page the comics. So Frank, or the Punisher, helps her meet with William Metzger, who claims the DODC has developed technology that can suppress mutant powers. This is based on the tech Bruce Banner created to suppress the Hulk. So it seems like she was having trouble with her powers, and Frank actually did want to help, not knowing that William Metzger is really kind of like the anti-mutant guy, or at least they're going to make him become the anti-mutant guy, right? Tramel Tillman, who plays this character, has signed on for a multi-picture deal, so he's definitely important. Jean is bound in a DODC facility because William Metzger believes the odd possessings and seemingly supernatural events happening must be caused by a psychic mutant like Jean Grey. So, unfortunately, the Hulk Punisher just delivers her to him, and it's kind of a trap, right? He doesn't know it, but he does. And that would explain why the Punisher is feeling like he is responsible for Jean Grey in this film, because that's what we've heard, or at least I should say responsible for Sadie Singh's character. You all know I believe she's Jean Grey. This says she is, but we'll still wait and see. This one's interesting. It says there is no Spider-Man and no Grey Hulk. I have personally heard from a source of mine that Grey Hulk is in the film. My source has been right in the past a lot, but has also been inaccurate sometimes. So who knows at this point? But that's what I've been told. Grey Hulk is in the movie, so this would go against that part of this. We'll wait and see. There's no Man Spider. That's kind of the twist that I think people might not be expecting, because it really does seem like Spider-Man is turning into Man Spider in the trailer. But you'll see what really is, according to this, happening and in the trailer when we get into it. Punisher is briefly possessed, but Jean is able to force it out of him. Jean's mind is too strong for Jackal to pierce, so she is safe. So she has some control of her powers, it seems. But then it says Jackal also possesses Bruce Banner, but Jean manages to get his wristband off. With Bruce not in control, Hulk fully comes out and goes on a rampage. We already know we're getting Savage Hulk back again. And we all saw that device. It's the device that was explained in She-Hulk that basically keeps him not as Smart Hulk or Professor Hulk, but Bruce Banner, and it keeps the Hulk from popping out. If that's destroyed, yeah, Bruce Banner's already told us. He'll turn into the Hulk again. Not Professor Hulk, Smart Hulk, but Savage Hulk. We know Savage Hulk is returning. It states Jackal attempts to possess Peter, but to his surprise, he fails to do so. The virus is in his body, but it isn't allowing Jackal any control. It begins mutating inside Peter and gives him organic webs, increased strength, heightened senses, and spider sense, etc. Right? We know that whatever's happening to him, he is going through some type of metamorphosis. His body is changing, and he is kind of getting upgrades to his powers, but it comes at a cost, obviously. The Hand wants Peter to be the host of the beast, so they push Jackal to figure out a way to control him. Jackal suggests if Peter were weakened, he might be more susceptible to control. This seemingly lines up with some trailer shots that we got. Yeah, Peter is going up against the Hand, but in some shots, it does seem like they're kind of just talking to him. So it makes sense that they want him to be the host of the beast. Scorpion is armed with a new suit and a type of synthetic venom that should be able to weaken Spider-Man's resistance. Peter is stung by Scorpion during their battle. Okay, a lot of people thought when Peter is really sweating in his apartment and he passes out, that could be caused to Scorpion's venom. It seems like it is a combination of that. Scorpion's venom and his body having a virus inside of it, and then also his body changing as well. And it does seem like he wakes up in that, spider cocoon. So Jackal controls Peter and presents him to the Hand as a new leader for them. They plan to kill and resurrect Peter to fully solidify him as one of them. It turns out that Jean and Peter had a plan all along for this, and Jean is able to suppress Jackal, trapping him inside Peter so he can't jump bodies anymore. Tombstone had a sort of kill switch for the Jackal virus all along, which he activates. Peter reverts to a weakened form and is dying. Jean still senses Jackal in him, so Peter decides to let him die. He decides to let himself die, so the possessor will die with him. He goes and confesses everything to MJ. then goes to Aunt May's grave and sits down to die. And that is all it says. Now, right away, what do you think of this? Again, we don't know if this is real. We don't know if some of it's accurate, some of it's not. We did hear a while ago, like when we first started to figure out about Spider-Man Brand New Day specifically, not about like the old film that supposedly had Null and Venom and all that stuff in there, but when this specific film, when we first started to get info about this film, at one point in time we heard Peter might die. And that's why I mentioned the Venom symbiote. If the Venom symbiote is in this film, I don't think it's like Venom pops out, he possesses somebody, anything like that. I'm specifically talking about the symbiote. But I can see a scenario where the symbiote gets to Peter right as he dies, right after he dies, just right after, and resurrects him. And that's what we would probably see in Avengers Secret Wars. The rumored post-credit scene, not confirmed, rumored, was that Tombstone was either handing or being handed a vial that did have the Venom symbiote inside of it. And since he is dealing with viruses and such in this, makes sense. So the Venom symbiote should be in the MCU, thanks to Tom Hardy's Venom coming over and then leaving, but leaving a part behind. That was a whole mess. But hey, the Venom symbiote is in the MCU. That's going to make its way to Peter. If Peter does die at the end of this, he's not dying for good. That symbiote's going to find him not too long after and bring him back. That might be what we see in Secret Wars, because that's when, in the Secret Wars comics, in the 1980s version, that's where Peter gets the black suit for the first time, or the Venom symbiote. So that might be what we're in store for. They might try to let us believe that Peter has died, but we know he's coming back in Secret Wars, right? And maybe this is why we haven't heard anything about him appearing in Avengers Doomsday, because, again, I think this takes place at the same time as Avengers Doomsday. But even if it doesn't, even if it's right before, they could say, oh, he dies, and that's why he's not in Doomsday. But it's obviously a big, big misdirect. Tom Holland's not going anywhere. He's got 2 more movies left at least. And we know we're going to see him in at least one Avengers movie. But this is the plot leak. What do you think about it? Obviously, hearing it doesn't make you see it on screen to know what's going to happen. But it makes some of what we saw in the trailer make sense. It really does. And I do believe that's the big misdirect. They're trying to get us to believe it is Man Spider. Man, it is Jean Grey's character controlling these people in a like almost an evil kind of way. Because I've seen a lot of people say, Jean Grey's not this evil. She doesn't do this stuff. Well, if this is true, she's not. It's not what she's doing. But also keep in mind, it is a Jean Grey who is younger and doesn't at least seem like she has a mentor like Professor X here yet. So we'll have to wait and see. But let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Avengers Doomsday, Secret Wars, Spider-Man Brand New Day, or Marvel news. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
Woo-wee! Yo, that is crazy. Yo, a while ago I said that a while ago, that Spider-Man, man, months ago, I was like, yo, there's a chance that Spider-Man may die at the end of the movie. You know, I have a comic book. Damn, I forgot what number is it. I think it's the Web of Spider-Man. But I forgot the number. That Spider-Man dies, and then he's in the grave, and then the Venom symbiote goes down into the grave and brings him back to life. So that's also in the comic books. You know what I mean? So I've been said that a long time ago. I'm like, yo, there's a chance that this dude might die at the end of the movie, and then we're gonna get the Venom symbiote to bring him back. I mean, it happened in the comic books. You know what I mean? And then it's funny that the villain, the Jackal, a while back, like about maybe a week or two, I had one of the viewers. He has sent me a message asking me about my favorite Spider-Man villains. Now, man, Spider-Man had like over 900 villains, but I just named a few of them. And he asked me, hey, what about the Jackal? Now, I remember the Jackal, but I'm like, yeah, the Jackal's cool. You know what I mean? He jumped from body to body, but I didn't really think much about it. You know what I mean? And it's funny that the Jackal is going to be part of the movie. You know what I mean? That's crazy. He was actually asking me about the Jackal. I didn't really give it no mind. You know what I mean? But it's crazy that we're actually going to get the Jackal in the movie, which is the twist, because when people are jumping in, when that thing is jumping into bodies, myself included, I thought that was just Jean Grey. You know, Jean Grey is controlling these people. But if you really think about it now, yeah, the way it is, it's something is jumping out and jumping out, you know, jumping from body to body. But a lot of us thought it was Jean Grey. Now you mentioned the Jackal. Now it makes sense. You know what I mean? Oh, man. I am excited about this one. Yo, I actually hope that everything that he just said is true. Everything he just said is true. And when it comes to Jean Grey, I mean, it kind of makes sense. We're getting a young Jean Grey. Makes sense. Her powers are just now manifesting. You know what I mean? And then the Jackal going inside of... Yo, that's crazy, though. Jackal going inside of Peter. Peter's like, nah, man, it ends here with me. And then he wants to go ahead and basically die. Go to Aunt May, you know what I mean, his grave, and just sit down there and die. Oh, my God. And then he finally... At least, that's the good thing, though. You know, we're going to get him going to Mary Jane... or not Mary Jane, Michelle Jones, is it? MJ, and at least going and you know, he's basically gonna confess everything to her. That's cool. We don't have to wait 2-3 movies before he does that. He'll do it on this movie. But yo, I'm excited. I am excited about that one, yo. You know, so yeah, man, yo, let's get some Venom. Let's get some Venom in this movie. But yeah, it makes sense that if we do get Venom, it could be towards the ending. I just don't know, because I did hear the same thing, that Tombstone is gonna get Venom. It was supposedly an end credit scene where somebody gives Tombstone a vial, and inside of that vial was the symbiote. So if Tombstone has the symbiote, how does the symbiote escape and go inside the tomb, you know, like reach Peter? Because a lot of us thought, myself included, that just like in the comic books, supposedly Tombstone gets the vial, looks back at Scorpion, because Scorpion is still going to be around. In the comic book, Scorpion does turn into Venom as well. There is a Venomized Scorpion in the comic books. You know what I mean? And then the actor playing Scorpion, he even posted on his Instagram the comic book of Venomized Scorpion. So I was like, oh snap, Tombstone is going to give Scorpion the Venom, and he's going to turn into Venom, you know, Venomized Scorpion. But I don't know. I don't know how do you do that if Peter Parker's going to die and we need the symbiote to bring him back to life. So, yo, I'm here for it, man. Yo, guys, comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Yo, shouts out to Warren. Make sure you guys go ahead, subscribe over there at the to the Cosmic Wonder. My mans know his stuff. You know what I mean? But, guys, with all that said, check out, if you guys want to check out, make sure to follow us, Heroes and Villains Collectibles on Instagram. Also, once again, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and let you know when I have all types of videos coming your way. Alright, and last but not least, smash that like button. It does help out the channel, guys. Okay, so let me know your thoughts, comment below. So with all that down, with all that said, this has been another episode of Heroes and Villains Collectibles. I'm your boy, LC. Until next time, guys. Peace.